Nathan, of course.
We are live.
All right, let's bring
For
we'll call to order here. Guess everybody's got the minutes. Read the minutes from last time, so just need to make a motion that we read the minutes.
Make a motion.
Is that to approve?
To approve the motion, yeah. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor? All right.
No visitors or petitioners that I can see.
No,
So
guess we'll get on some old business in.
all right, old business is just would be some reports and updates. Fuel sales for this quarter. 100 low lead, we've sold 9,965 gallons, or I'm sorry, 1,993 gallons for a total of $9,965. We've sold 588 gallons of jet fuel, $2,646. Jet fuel sales are down at this point. I'm not really sure exactly why, but they just are. We have had, and we do have posted, we made a mistake of getting a load of Jet A without pressed at one point, and that's got our press levels down.
Yeah.
So we're in the process of getting that rectified. We've also got it posted. So, but I don't know, the recreational doesn't get up into the freezing area right at this point, does it?
No.
I didn't think it did, but we will have that fixed before that happens, gets back to that point. But that probably has cost us some commercial or from the larger aircraft.
We should be able to add pressed and just do a circulating and get that back in
Well,
there.
that's, we're trying to, we're working with Titan to get that rectified. Our testing shows it down low.
Yeah.
So
Cause a lot of companies, they don't want pre-mixed press. They want pressed in a can when you mix, they'd rather, you mix it as you're putting it in. So
Titan may not be that,
it may not be.
they may not be
I'm
that,
sure.
that way on it. So we're working with them to get it corrected. So, and with all the, moisture we've had, and we have to do a lot of draining on that jet tank just to get the moisture out of it because the condensation is
Just
something else.
wet.
Yeah. So matter of fact, we've actually been doing, we've been running out, we would actually run 15 gallons at times to get all the water out of it. I mean, but it's
Wow.
clear when you look down from the top, it's clear to the bottom. But it's just down there and that bottom, it just so that, but we we pull it every day. So. All right, talked with, we're still sitting on, something I would ask you all to do as pilots and everything. Anybody that you know of that has had a strike with any kind of,
wildlife.
with a deer, with a,
Goose.
yeah, I could say goose, even though birds are not really the big, you can't really take care of them with a fence. Here's what I'm looking at. If we get people that have had strikes with a deer, if we can relate that and have them report that to the KDA or to us, so we can report it to the KDA, that might get their tails in higher gear to get that fence moving. That's been a slow operation basically because whatever reason, it's just been kind of slow.
Mine's at 17,000 right now to fix our wing.
Yeah. So what I need to
That
do is
3 weeks ago.
get me some information on that so I can pass
get
that
it here.
on.
That was my next question. How do we know how many people have hit deer out there?
There's several's hit there that nobody even knows about it. So
That's it. The people do it and they don't report it, but if they report it to us, that will help us get the word
Yeah,
up to the state and maybe get them light a fire under their backsides to get that fence moving, the
You
project
think like
moving.
a sheet and down there would help?
That's the issue. Right now, we're sitting on, we're listening at the crickets on that project. So that's how that's working
What
out.
about all the near misses? I mean.
Well, there's,
Even near misses or anything like that is helpful. Anything that we can relay to KDA and they can relay to the finance cabinet, I think is where the crickets are sitting. But anything that we can relay in that direction and say, hey, here we are again with another issue. We need to get this, we need to emphasize that needs to be done. So,
Serious.
huh?
It's very serious.
I agree.
It is.
How you
Absolutely
want to
agree.
go about reporting it?
But you know, we've
Just-
just got to start reporting it so we can get it reported as well. And damage, any damage, we need to know how much damage, what kind of damage, so that we can actually send that. And if the insurance company will say something, that's even better.
No, yeah.
Get the insurance company to contact them and let them know.
It's gonna be even better when ours goes up.
So
Um,
what's the best way to
I guess
report
the
those
deer
things,
was laying
John?
on the pavement.
Really?
Because the way I could, yeah, it was laying on the pavement and I guess it raised its head up because our wing, it missed the prop and caught the wing and dented it all in. It looks like, I mean, you could tell, the wheel run over it because I had hair all up under it. It didn't kill it because I had to call PD and they went down there and shot it. So,
that won't be a first for them. I know that.
1 o'clock in the morning, I get the call, Harry's calling me saying, I hit a deer in the plane. I said, oh,
I was
okay.
shot by JFK.
So, Cause me and Doc both, when I mean, I always do a flyby.
Yeah.
But
Which is
Harry's
smart.
young, he just got his license.
You did it?
Didn't think nothing about it,
Yeah.
you know.
I had it on auto. That was good.
Tried to get them off the runway, but the runways was, so they're laying.
Yeah, they're laying there sucking up that
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah. So-
The,
It was lateral to the.
still working with the airport layout plan. And also the other is we're actually started the movement toward design of the hangar, the new hangar. So, and we may wind up with, see how much the difference is between an 8 and a 10 unit hangar. Or may just go to a 10 unit hangar. That might be a better notion. We've got the ground to do it. We'll just take a look at it and see.
Well, I know we'll have the
That's-
planes to fill it.
Yeah, oh, we've got the bodies to fill, there's no doubt of that. We've got, I've got a list of those with airplanes. It takes the top of the list versus those who want to buy an airplane, but don't have a place to put it. So between the two, I've probably got something like 20 plus people wanting a hangar.
Is anybody taking that hanger?
Huh?
Is anybody taking that hanger?
Yeah.
Who took it?
You remember who it was? What was the guy's name?
I don't know, it's the mattress people.
Oh.
Oh, that's right. The guy that won't put him on there if he won't. That gentleman.
Yeah, he's got, trying to remember what airplane he's got. He owns some mattress companies. They got one in Benton and Murray and Paducah. Mattress, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question was, and I was gonna ask you earlier, if you have a hangar, and I was gonna try to look it up on the rules are, and they sell it, does that airplane, the new owner get to keep that hangar?
Not necessarily. We don't have anything, I don't know that, because the hangar is rented to the individual, not the airplane, okay?
But that's also gonna stop a sale if somebody,
I don't know, I guess look at it both ways, if you want to buy that, it's like buying a houseboat.
I guess it really is one of the things that needs to be discussed, up front.
Cause there's one
Let
for
us
sale
know.
and they called me and asked me, I said, I'm going to the board meeting Tuesday. I'll get you some answers.
I understand that.
Cause used to
If
several
it's gonna,
years
if
ago,
it's,
you had a boat.
my biggest issue is, at this point, managing it is making sure I'm looking more now at people that are local than people that are flying in and out. People that are local are using it all the time instead of just flying in and dropping it, putting it in a hangar and flying, coming back. Now, I've got one or two that actually have planes. They fly up here and they keep a plane in here. Okay,
we need fuel cells. We don't
that's
need them.
exactly right. And that's the reason I'm looking at people that
Yeah,
live
local.
here, local first. So, and that's kind of where I'm going as far as the list too. And we do have a lot of people that are local that are looking. So,
Well,
yes,
this guy's like, he's wanting to buy an airplane that's sitting up there. So it's in the hangar. So But I mean, he's not.
That's a
gonna-
good, we need to, that's something we can
Yeah.
visit, I'll look into that and see, because I don't know why
If it's already there and it
already
just clicked
there.
his owners.
Yeah,
It's already listed here. It's better off to keep it here.
yeah, to
Yeah.
lose it.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, let me look into it
Yeah,
and
it's-
see. I don't know that that's actually addressed on there,
I
other
don't
than the
think it
fact
is.
is, well, the other thing is legally, it's leased to the individual, not the aircraft.
Right.
Because you can change the aircraft easier than you can change the individual. But let me look at legal and see if we can work that out, okay?
All right.
I'm sure we can, but we just need to
Well, I know-
address it.
Because you got the 182 that, Senior's got up there, it's for sale. So, cause he's in jail, so the owner that owned it in Tennessee is, trying to get rid of it.
So the fly there, and 182 when you're in jail.
Mhm. So,
Who
but
is it?
Greg Senior,
Oh, the guy that, okay, yeah.
yeah.
I know what
So,
you're talking
but see, he never owned that airplane. It belonged to a guy down in Tennessee.
about.
So he's the actual owner.
And
of
it's
it.
over here.
Yeah,
What year is it?
it's a 73 or 4, 182. But I know somebody else wanted to buy it, but they won't buy it unless the hangar comes with it. So,
Okay, well, I'll run that past legal and if it's not addressed, we'll see if we can fix that. And I'll even look at it myself and see if there's something in there that a clause that we might be able to utilize for that purpose. So,
Just a comment on that. You may want to make it a little vague, just in certain cases when you may not want that person there versus somebody else
Yeah.
that may have more fuel sales. Like potential preferential treatment.
yeah.
for
Oh, I understand.
transferring,
Yeah, I understand
something
that.
Like that. I don't know how you'd word it, but.
Yeah.
There may be.
fuel cell is number one.
Yeah,
Number two is units that are registered here.
Yeah,
mhm.
I've got 4 right now that are not registered here. And so we don't get those counted for towards us.
Right.
Even though they're here most of the time. Now, one of them may not be because he's out of Florida. And that's understanding. I've got it on there, but I've got 2 or 3 of them that are here, that their aircrafts are not listed here.
And they live here.
Yes.
That needs to be in the contract mandatory that they.
Well,
their airplane
If
here.
you look, I don't know that it's not, but Murray will not release. Doesn't seem like they want to release.
Well, no.
That's the biggest thing. So, those are the ones. There's one in Indiana or Illinois or Indiana, one in Florida, which I don't expect that one to change simply because he lives in Florida. They've got a place up here for the summer.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I want locals. But that one I could argue and not win that case. But the one in Murray that's moved up here, yes. And we've got a couple of them like that. And that's gonna have to change or that's gonna put them down in the bottom.
Well, yeah, because that's what the FAA looks at to get our money.
That's
is-
exactly right.
What's
I mean-
the legal say on the transfer from like Murray to here?
What now?
If you was to move it from, say, Murray to here.
They're supposed to
what's the-
release it.
Okay. But
Sometimes they don't. Because of the way that,
legal say?
part of the reason of that, it may be that the way the owner operates the aircraft. They may not have released a hangar in Murray,
Okay.
and yet they've got a hangar here. And I'm not gonna swear to that, but I'm not gonna swear that that's not the case, and that's one of the reasons they don't want to release it. So not everybody is above board when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm not, it's seems like it's your airplane, you'll be there where you. want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's true, you're
agree.
right, but we don't have to lease to everybody that like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to make money. We're in a
That's
bit
what
for
I'm saying.
business.
That's what
This
I'm
is
saying.
not for the betterment of the individual, it's the betterment of the
That's what it ought to
entity.
be.
That's right.
You know, it should be the individual. You say you want this thing, then you need to.
Yeah,
you know, I
it
think
has
you
to
can
be,
have it anytime
yeah.
you want to, it's just a matter of
But-
saying.
And you could still have your airplane registered like in, cause a lot of people do a corporation in Utah or somewhere just because it's there, but on the FAA, you could say this is where it's based at.
That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for, based
It
aircraft.
don't matter where
That's how-
it's licensed,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That makes no difference where you license the aircraft.
but you
when
have
it
to
ba-
go tell
Where you're
FAA.
based at, and that's through the FAA. So
Yeah.
Are we able to track the fuel sales per tenant?
No.
per tent, no.
Yeah, you can.
You put the.
Well, actually I could, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
was curious.
I thought
No.
you put the N number in.
Yeah, the N number will.
Yeah, I
tell you.
can't go by N number. A lot of times the N number's not on there. I can buy the card a lot of times, or the individual if it's listed on the card. But a lot of times that doesn't even count. It's not even there
Well,
that
yeah.
way too, so.
Somebody
There's
else
only
can
one
pay for
thing
it.
important is you got fuel that you can buy. I'm for the staff.
Oh,
My
yeah.
standpoint, I don't care what it costs. My God, you gotta have it. There's no fuel sign, and you say that, and you're saying, there's no fuel places up in the air.
No.
It's been tried, hasn't
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's the number one cause of crashes.
Right, run out of fuel. Yep.
Wow.
So,
You know,
but
I'm like Doc, if it costs, you know, the time you come in here, then have to crank up and go to Murray, Mayfield, Paducah to get fuel, you wasted, you know,
Remember
it's
that
your
low,
time.
that's probably $300, at least in my plane, right off the bat. We
Absolutely.
don't
Yeah.
have it, I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
It's just, it makes it so much easier just to land in, fill up, put it in hangar.
Now, how do you do like at Mayfield? Because we have a lot of people calling that like want an airplane, but they refuse to get it without having a hangar to put it in.
That's, you know, Mayfield has no hangars. We built 3 big box hangars and yeah, we got 6 on the list for box hangars, big hangars, you know, 800 a month, $1,000 a month hangars. But I mean, it's,
I think you're fixing to see hangar costs go up. The state is pushing and doing some, gonna be doing some reviews of air, because of all the money that they're pumping out. They're gonna start looking at what we charge for hangars. And well, no, what they're gonna do is they're gonna force us to up the prices to get in the market. Because what's happening is everybody has the low prices. Well, that's great. But it doesn't help build the future.
Yeah,
Because
Murray,
you're covering just basic costs and not the cost of what
Building
it's
it.
gonna take to do it down the road, all the infrastructure that's required. So I expect that to happen. I know we got that information from KDA that they're gonna start going around and looking at airports and then looking at usage, costs.
the same
stuff
hangar
like
at
that.
Murray, like ours is $150 and their regular slider doors like our old ones are 100. And
Yeah.
Murray,
Well, I got a feeling that they're gonna see that if they don't get back, here's the deal, the leverage that I see that this would come out of this would be leverage that, okay, if you're not getting your costs, you're charging, not charging
Oh, wow.
an adequate amount for your services, then don't look to us to fund the grants that you
well, there
want.
you go.
And so that's how they're gonna get the leverage.
Mayfield's the highest. They're 275 on their T hangars. Mayfield's just,
We're 275 on our big one,
no, I'm talking about the small ones.
oh, the small ones.
Yeah, we're
Well,
200.
that's probably, I mean, I see us might even have to increase. Don't know that yet.
Yeah.
But when I talk to people outside this area, I'm paying $400
Oh, yeah.
for a T hanger.
Go to Nashville.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the big cities. I
So,
mean, you go
I
anywhere.
don't-
It's got,
Blind
aviation's got so expensive though. What you want the little guy starting.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is.
they
you know,
can't go
when
in
you're
there and
22
pay.
years old. And that's why, I mean, I did all these flights forever. You don't see young people fly, you know, and that's gonna be a real problem. You know, down life's way. You don't know any 22-year-old people that fly?
No,
No.
can't afford it.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And the hangar is kind of it's the psychological aspects of how much it costs. I'll just say my good buddies in Central County, Texas, were one of the guys, some of these big guys bought it. His is $1,200 a month. For the hangar, and he can afford it, but I guarantee you that many people will like that. So what you're doing, do you fly?
No.
Okay, do you fly? You don't fly.
Mhm.
I'm the only person, you fly, son.
You too.
I'm the only person who gets an airplane and flies here, okay?
Yeah.
And that's the truth, okay? And you can see. I started I started late, you know, but you see these guys. Then when you need to get them, it's 22, 23, 24, 25, and they're not flying. And that's gonna, and on the long run, that's gonna have an influence.
Well,
And
it's a weird generation. They're not even wanting to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No kidding.
I've got friends that have kids turning
Don't even-
16
yeah.
years old, don't even get a driver's license.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing of all time. It's just.
that was one of the biggest part of your life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't wait.
Absolutely.
They don't care. They don't care.
It's a weird
It is so
generation.
weird.
It really is.
Weird
They are
generation.
different.
So they're not even thinking, hey, I want
Car.
pilot license, forget it. They don't even want a driver's license.
Well, give us just give us psychiatric evaluation. That's what I tell you, but a lot, I see a lot, which I imagine, these, stuff, I see a lot of people, the things that they really don't want to give up is their driver's license.
Yeah.
That's a big
Oh,
deal.
yeah.
But it is a big deal. You think about it. How we got here, we drove, you know?
Sure.
I guess you can have, you know. You know,
Magic
have
carpet.
people drive. That's
Oh, I
fine.
need to ride home after this.
But, it really concerns me, the price, the price, I was just looking at the price of I was reading someplace like $250 an hour. When I started flying, it was like $15 for the airplane, $5 for the pilot, you know? I'm serious, you know, and now it's like
Yeah.
250. So you're gonna spend, you can spend, you know, 10's nothing, 15, 20, $30,000.
Oh, yeah.
You know, by the time you get your instruments and all that stuff. And so people, they just.
Well, we had a pilot at Mayfield that didn't turn in a DUI that happened 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Cost him 22,000 to get his ratings back.
Choo. Wow.
22,000.
Yeah, all right, yeah, you know, I've had people say, well, I've had, you know, blah, 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 and I said, well, you know, back in the days now, a long time ago, it'd be okay, because you could.
Yeah.
I said, now they're gonna look that, they look that up.
Yeah.
They're looking
Joey
at that stuff.
DeLaup, I mean, he got a letter in the mail, said, you didn't report this DUI that you got 15 years ago. They found it.
Ashley, can you hear us?
It is.
She fell asleep.
You know,
Ashley,
Yes, I can hear you. I have it under a different browser, so it's under Microsoft Edge instead of Chrome, so I couldn't find you, but I can hear you.
okay, can you make a note so we can look into the language on the aircraft being sold from, that's already here?
Yes, sir.
See
I will.
if there's anything that goes against that or anything that does speak to that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I've been able to hear you the whole time.
All right.
Just couldn't find you on my computer.
Okay, I'm trying to think what else we had going.
You wanted to talk about charging for a paper copy,
Taxi cab driver.
For what?
paper copy of the invoice for that.
That's true.
Oh, one of the things we got issues with, everybody that has a hangar pays by a email invoice we send out. We have one individual that refuses to go that route and
That's what
is,
they all died off.
and we're mailing that out, and then that person is 2 months in arrears at any given time. My thought is, one way to handle that is to add a charge if we send a paper copy as opposed to an email copy. And if we have to send a paper copy, then we send them a charge that goes with that.
Absolutely.
Well, they know when the due,
Somebody else.
they know when the due date is.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thought, but I'm not sure we've got, right now, he's caught up +1, so.
But he's
After
been
he
like-
got a letter from us, we actually sent him a letter of eviction and we wound up getting 2 months +1. So,
It's
yeah,
just hard to do it. you know,
that got his
you-
attention.
I did it because you know.
You're good. You're good, Doc. I mean, you say,
Question on that. Is there a ACH available?
No,
no,
Okay.
unfortunately, not at this time.
So there, it's used for property a lot, but you can buy one of
Yes.
these property managements.
Yeah.
Door Loop or something like
Yeah.
that, to where they have all these programs set up where you can send out letters. You can set people up on ACH, take credit card payments and things like that.
we're hoping our new program
We've got
that
a
we're
new program
getting.
we're being implemented right now, and we're hoping that will be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it will handle rentals
Yeah,
different types of rentals, and we're actually looking to move it to to that program as well.
and what's the total hangars, total number?
21 hangars.
21 hangars.
Yeah.
They go in groups of 20 on some of the ones that I've looked at.
Yeah.
Like per 20 units. the cost
Okay, I'll look
changes.
that up.
Well, can you get it now where you can just have them take it out of your checking?
No,
The ACH is what, no, we don't, at this point, we don't, no.
What are you
We,
using
that
right now?
might be something down the road, but we're not there yet.
Manual.
I create it in Excel and then I send it.
By credit card.
Well, I mean, if.
Credit card, that's
QuickBooks
another
or-
one we're moving to as well, because
You don't take-
again, we're trying to get City Hall into the 21st century.
But like I called
You know.
him the 1 month when he got behind and he said that he sent me out 2 months. Like
We're not
that
gonna go
week.
into all that. We're not gonna go into all that. We've already got, so.
For the credit card.
But he's, at this point, he's up to date, and if we can get the credit card up and going with this next system, it's supposed to have more ability to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Then that will, I think, help take care of some of
It's,
this.
it's not the money, it's just a matter. of
Yeah.
getting it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Probably his
just
wife
getting
is
it
supposed to
done.
do it, she's not doing it.
Oh, do not blame it on his wife.
I'll blame it on her.
I'm not married, so yeah, you might.
Are you the guy?
I can't. I don't know. About it. I can make my- I don't know.
Sick.
Yeah. Pay him your.
All right, all right, and then I think that,
Right.
let's see.
When you moving in?
Want to talk about those one hanger things we were talking about?
Family in there, you building a house down there.
Which one?
Ones that would be just like for people could pull in for the night.
Well, that one is, I don't know if we're ready for that one,
Okay.
but I'll just throw out something here, something I was thinking about, because we get occasional calls. That people want to come in and rent a hangar for overnight. They're just saying,
Absolutely.
one of the thoughts I had was possibly doing down the road a large open hangar, box hangar, if you will, that could hold about 4 aircraft, and they could be walked in, backed in, whatever, and parked inside. It'd be a 3-sided hangar, no, it'd be an open front, but the 3 sides would be closed. That way it's easy in and out, and they would have it'd be an aisle in between the parking areas down the center, and these would be 2 on each side where you can back them in and then come right out without getting into the other aircraft. It's wide enough for that. Just a thought on that one. I'll have to go back and take a look. Again, this is just brainstorming to see what other things we could provide that might benefit us and the area. But I'm gonna talk to them and just try to get an idea of what, that would be a box hangar that we could probably set up with local construction without having to go through the prefabricated stuff. It's not a T hangar, just an open with the concrete floor and then that.
Yeah.
Um,
I know if I go to Pensacola or anywhere down there, if you want to keep your airplane in the hangar, it's $50 a night.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
it would be at least that, yeah.
You probably couldn't get them.
I don't even know if I could do it for that price. That's the problem. I just have to see what it costs for that type of operation. But I do think that if we could make the numbers match, it might be something to consider.
Here's the $5.
But I mean,
A boat slip costs more than that. A boat slip costs more than $50 a night, you know, I mean, a big boat slip. I
yeah,
don't know why you.
But they're gonna.
Well, again, like I said, I've got to
They
make sure that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
you know, what they're gonna do, right? We don't charge for tie downs either.
right.
A lot of places charge for tie downs and we don't.
And not many places around here do, they? I don't.
No.
But if you had a transit hangar, say, hey, I'm gonna be in for the weekend, I'd like to put my airplane in the hangar, I mean,
It's just an open bay. It's be 3-sided with a roof, but it'd be an open bay hangar where you could actually back in about 4 aircraft. Like we box here, like we set up in our hangars here. It wouldn't be the bigger ones. I mean, if you did that, it would eat up a lot more space and you would lose it, but but if you could-
Real hangers.
sir,
I'd really have 4 more real hangers,
yeah, he's talking about on top of the T hangars.
I'm talking on top of the T hangar. I mean, but this is something that because right now we have no place for people that are wanting to come in and transit through and put something in.
Well, couldn't you just put a.
Like a open side, like they do in
Carport.
California. California, theirs is just like
Tube.
it's almost like opens on both sides, and a lot of times their tails stick out, or
But that's land the fruits and nuts. too.
Oh, like a military one.
Yeah,
It's
just,
like, yeah, too, where they just pull them right in there.
the big thing is they want to get them out of the sun.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
radio.
On each side, like,
That's,
They have some out Farrington's.
Yeah.
That's,
Fair,
that's a
they have that.
possibility too. I mean, that's a thought.
if they could just get their fronts in, they don't care about their tails. It's just, they just want that sun off the
Off the
avionics.
cockpit and avionics, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's something
Oh,
to
yeah.
think about, yeah. I just need to look at the cost versus what we actually could probably rent them for and on a regular basis. That's the other thing is, I don't know how much, the need is there, but it's not something we turn down weekly, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that most?
So that's the one thing I've got to be careful with on that.
Is the courtesy car going out much?
Yeah.
Some,
Yeah,
it does. Got a request the other day and I sent them a letter or an email back telling them to call Carrie or Allison to reserve it. They were coming into golf at State Park, so.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, that,
Go to these guys.
that's working fairly well.
Send that off to everybody.
Yeah.
I say it's $10,000.
I think unless you guys have something else, I think that's about it. We're still working on, oh, the other one, the Pappy and the Reels.
I agree.
That's another one that's just sitting in cricket land, so we're waiting to hear, so we can find out something.
So that
I think a
something we-
lot of it has to do with the time of the year.
So that's something we need to call KDA and sort
Well-
of push them.
Well, after July 1, probably, if we don't see anything in movement, that's something we might want to consider.
Cause I can get all kinds of pilots, just keep calling in,
There you go.
put them on speed dial.
Is anybody interested in the KAA conference this year? Kentucky Aviation Association.
When is it?
It's probably gonna be in this fall. I don't have the dates on it yet, but as soon as I can get them, I'll let you know. I'm on the board now.
I think Mike Fagan went last year. Him and,
Nobody from Mayfield is,
no, Mike's here. He's in our club.
oh, yeah.
Him and,
I think I saw Mike there.
yeah, Doc, Lilybig went.
Did he?
Yeah, both of them
I
went.
don't remember seeing a little big there, but okay.
Yeah,
All right.
cause they flew up there together in the Archer, so.
For the deer situation
Yes,
and the misses and our near misses and hits, what's the best way to report that for our friends?
the KDA. That's what he's
KDA
talking about.
side.
Well, let us know.
Or
If we,
call Calvert City
Call.
Police or.
yeah,
someone and
if they'll
take it.
report it to the police department, they'll get something written up and we've had a report that we can actually send to KDA.
Is there a way to
Okay.
get a report from insurance companies on if they've
The damage,
received?
amount of damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's possible based on the individual. If the individual can forward that.
I wasn't gonna turn ours in on insurance if it
Oh.
would have been reasonable.
Okay.
Because, I mean, they're gonna raise your price. I don't care if it's a deer, if
Yeah,
it's
you're
a,
gonna pay
if
it
it's a
back.
pothole.
yeah.
They're gonna raise your price. So, I mean, we was gonna try not to cover ours, but we're gonna have to because right now they're saying 15 to 17,000. So they had to pull the wing off and
Well, even if you can get a quote, send us a copy of the quote for the damage. I mean, that'll give us something that we can throw at them as well.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can call David down at Jackson
That'll be helpful.
and,
But I think the deposit realize all you gotta do is call here and say I had them.
Yeah.
They'll do that. You know,
If you can give us the information, what we need to
That's all
know,
you- Yeah, that gets it done.
what was,
And I'll put a sign down there.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I did. That'd be a
Yeah.
great. put a sign.
I was gonna say a sign that,
Yeah.
report any strikes or near misses
Yeah.
to the city of
I put a
Calvert.
Yeah.
sign down there and call
Put it
this
in the
number
lounge.
because we don't have a fence. And every pilot coming in would
We need you to call.
burn that number up.
let me give you Mark Carter's cell phone.
There you go.
But
That's
I
the
mean,
commissioner.
you know, I mean, it could have been easily, that deer could have hit right in the middle of the prop and killed that boy.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Oh, heck,
You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
we just got lucky,
It's too dangerous.
you know, it's,
What was it you got last time, Doc? Was
I got a
it
goose.
goose?
And he had wind too, the one time.
you didn't even have a hunting license, I bet.
Didn't have no stamp, that's for sure.
Let me tell you, I think it's a scary thing because, you're talking about 3 or 4 or 5 feet from dying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you really are. When that goose hit that airplane, it exploded. And that airplane, that wing on that airplane is well built. They took that wing and shoved it in, Of course, he changed, and I was over JFK. I'm talking about the JFK, and I said, I just hit a goose. I said, you want to land in JFK? Can you imagine me landing in JFK? There's a 747, a 787.
Yeah.
Mooney.
Rick took 172 from Mayfield, was flying over a Murray ball game. Big old bird come busted the windshield out and he had to fly it back to Mayfield with no windshield in there.
Oh, my.
Sure did. Hit a bird right over he was
Well, you-
flying over the field.
You remember that Apache that was over here at the airport? It had a bird strike over Kentucky Lake and they parked it there until they could bring a crew in. They actually constructed that windshield there in the lobby at the airport, at the terminal. And put it back together and then flew her on.
They hit just right.
It does. I wouldn't have expected the bird to knock that one out, man.
Hit the hawk hit me.
You get it.
Up underneath, flipped it over. Broke the
I
wing.
went, it may be,
Sure did.
there's not that many birds around.
Threw it
here.
out in the
You know,
middle of the
you
horse
get,
pasture.
you get on the coast with the flyways there.
Yeah.
I guess, you get around whatever it is.
If you go down, land at New Orleans lakefront, they're out there shooting about every 10 or 15 minutes. They go down through the runway. They got now automatic guns that go off just to keep the birds off the flying in the lakefront.
It's scary because it's instant. You're sitting there and all of a sudden.
When you put that out, put the phone number for them to call and also give them the info at calvertcityky.gov. That way they can send us an email. They've got an email address. They can send information in, especially on near misses. If nothing else, and then they got a place to send documents as well. Okay. You guys got anything else?
No, I think we're good.
So you got a pilot's license for your,
It's just a 107, yeah.
I know, but it's the
Drone.
drone. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's what we was talking about. You're talking about bird strikes. I had a hawk take mine down the other day.
No,
Come up underneath it,
They'll
flipped
grab
it
'em.
over it and
Yeah.
broke the wings off of it.
No
Sure
kidding.
did, Yeah.
that is not a dove.
It took a while.
Out of the sky.
It come flying out of the sky, it come falling out of the sky, and we didn't know what happened.
Fall out of the sky. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I did. But
I guarantee you can get those drones a lot, you know.
the centrifugal force would have got me if it did, because that thing went into a spiral. Just.
True story.
Okay. That's all I have, gentlemen, unless you guys have something else.
Motion to adjourn.
There you go. First one we ever got was 2000.
I'll second it. Nobody did.
They did.
Okay, Jason did.
Thank you.
You're free, Donnie.
Is that all in favor? Yay?
All in favor?
Yeah.